they'll find something sublime and will benefit. I have no personal qualification, but I simply try
Jayo Vijubha Ashtara Sadhasi Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 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 Anandamaya Pr Bhakti Devaki Jai. Shri Harinath Sankirtan Ki Jai. Shri Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaudikai Ki Jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Swadha Bande Ki Jai. Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the sādhavatis. All glories to the sādhavatis. All glories to Sri Guru Sri Gauranga. All glories to Sri Prabhu. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pastyata Vedatarine Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayesha Bhavādṛśo Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Today we are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, fourth skanda, fourth chapter, entitled Sati quits her body. And this is the shloka number 12. Doṣān pareṣāṁ hi guṇeṣu sādhavaḥ gṛhṇanti kecit na bhavādṛśaḥ dvija guṇān cha phalgūn bahulī-kariṣṇavaḥ mahat-tamāḥ teṣu avidat bhavān agham doṣān pareṣāṁ hi guṇeṣu sādhavo gṛhṇanti kecin bhavādṛśo dvija guṇāṁś phalgūn bahulī-kariṣṇavo mahat-tamāස් teṣv avidad bhavān agham doṣān pareṣāṁ hi guṇeṣu sādhavo gṛhṇanti kecin bhavādṛśaḥ dvija guṇāṁश्च phalgūn bahulī-kariṣṇavo mahat-tamāस् teṣv avidat bhavān agham doṣān pareṣāṁ hi guṇeṣu sādhavo gṛhṇanti kecin bhavādṛśo dvija guṇāṁश्च phalgūn bahulī-kariṣṇavo mahat-tamāḥ. Vaishnavis, doṣān, faults, pareṣāṁ of others, he, for, guṇeṣu, in the qualities, sādhavaḥ, sādhus, gṛhṇanti, find, kecit, some, not, bhavādṛśaḥ, like you, dvija, O twice born, guṇān, qualities, cha, and phalgūn, small, bahulī-kariṣṇavaḥ, greatly magnifies, mahat-tamāḥ, the greatest persons, teṣu, among them, avidat, find, bhavān, you, agham, the fault. Translation. Twice born Dakṣa, a man like you can simply find fault in the qualities of others. Lord Shiva, however, not only finds no faults with others' qualities, but if someone had a little good quality, he magnifies it greatly. Unfortunately, you have found fault with such a great soul. Please repeat. Twice born Dakṣa, a man like you can simply find fault in the qualities of others. Lord Shiva, however, not only finds no faults with others' qualities, but if someone has a little good quality, he magnifies it greatly. Unfortunately, you have found fault with such a great soul. Purport by Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. King Dakṣa is addressed here by his daughter Sati as dvija, twice born. Twice born refers to the higher classes of men, namely the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas. In other words, a dvija is not an ordinary man, but one who has studied the Vedic literature from a spiritual master and can discriminate between good and bad. Therefore, it is supposed that he understands logic and philosophy. Sati, Daksha's daughter, put before him sound arguments. There are some highly qualified persons who accept only the good qualities of others. Just as a bee is always interested in the honey in a flower and does not consider the tones and colors, highly qualified persons who are uncommon accept only the good qualities of others, not considering their bad qualities, whereas the common man can judge what are good qualities and what are bad qualities. Among the uncommonly good souls, there are still gradations, and the best good soul is one who accepts an insignificant asset of a person and magnifies that good quality. Lord Shiva is called also Asutosh, which refers to one who is satisfied very easily and who offers to any person the highest level of benediction. For example, once a devotee of Lord Shiva wanted a benediction that whenever he touched someone on the head, that person's head would at once be separated from his trunk. Lord Shiva agreed, although the benediction asked was not very commendable because the devotee wanted to kill his enemy. Lord Shiva considered the devotee's good quality in worshipping and satisfying him and granted the benediction. Thus, Lord Shiva accepted his bad qualities as magnificently good qualities. But Sati accused her father, "You are just the opposite. Although Lord Shiva has so many good qualities and no bad qualities at all, you have accepted him as bad and found fault with him. Because of your accepting his good qualities to be bad, instead of your becoming the most exalted soul, you have become the most fallen. A man becomes the greatest soul by accepting the goodness of others' qualities, but by unnecessarily considering others' good qualities to be bad, you have become the lowest of the fallen souls." Sri Sri gṛhṇanti ki jai, Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai, Sri Sri Jagannath Subhadra Baladev ki jai. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitansya. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This sloka is spoken by Sati Devi. She is addressing her father Dakṣa in the assembly of all the demigods, great rishis, who have come to attend the yajna performed by Dakṣa. So everybody is present, and as seen in the earlier sloka, Sati Devi, accompanied by the associates of Lord Shiva, all the Bhutaganas and others. Lord Shiva himself did not come. So Sati has come, and everybody is welcoming her, especially her relatives, her mother, her sisters, They are warmly receiving her, but she is not satisfied because her father has not welcomed her, as he has not invited her also from the beginning, neither did he invite her husband, Lord Shiva. So Shiva knew everything was going to happen, but Sati Devi was very much eager to attend the yajna in the company of all his relatives and other great personalities. So, not being welcomed by Dakṣa, she is now speaking to him with great alacrity, great anger, and in this way, she is addressing her father that, first of all, Lord Shiva is not to be criticized in any manner. He is the greatest personality. He has no fault. He has all the great qualities of the greatest of all. He is the greatest of all. So why do you find fault in him? So he is telling in this way that addressing him as twice born. Twice born is a very good qualification to understand the qualities of others, to understand the Vedic philosophy, Vedic teachings. One who is twice born is supposed to have learned the Vedic philosophy and way of life from a spiritual master. In this way, his life is pure, and he also has the right understanding of the material world and how to act in the material world. So he may be a Brahmana, a Kshatriya, or Vaishya, but a twice born means one who has received proper knowledge. Unfortunately, it is seen here that although Dakṣa is supposed to be twice born, but he is not following the teachings of the Vedas. The ultimate conclusion of the Vedas is Krishna consciousness. He has not developed that quality, and on the contrary, he is simply judging others in a very mundane manner. A person who has developed the good qualities, he will see others' good qualities, and he will not see others even if they have also bad qualities, he will only see their good qualities. And a person who is of a superior standing in knowledge and quality, he will magnify the good qualities of others. Not only he will not see their bad quality, but whatever good quality they have, he will magnify them. He will focus on them. In this way, he will have a very good judgment. He'll be very charitable. He will be very magnanimous. And that will be the great quality of such a personality. Unfortunately, Dakṣa is just the opposite. He doesn't see the good qualities of Shiva, and he is, in his mind, he is speculating some bad quality which are not there in Lord Shiva. So, even though he's supposed to be twice born, but he is exhibiting the lowest quality. He is the most sinful, the lowest of men. So that is the address given by Sati to her own father. So that is a very sharp judgment that she is making, and that is very significant because all of us also, we should try to understand what is in our mind. Either we see the good quality in others or we focus on these bad qualities. Now that also, in this way, we can reflect for ourselves about this particular judgment. Actually, we are all here because our spiritual master has magnified. Maybe we had little spark. Prabhupada sometimes says that my business is to fan the small spark of light, a spark from the fire. Sometimes it may fall down out of the fire in the wet grass and then becomes extinguished. Or it falls down in a hard surface, so it will remain for some time brilliant, but eventually it may also fade out. There are some other sparks of fire which are more fortunate. They will, out of the fire, they will land on dry grass. So they will burn very nicely, and they will light a fire. In this way, they'll become very bright, just as the original fire. So there are conditions here in the material world. We have all come from a spiritual kingdom. We are all mamaivam sajiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manas shashtanindriyani prakriti stani karshati. Lord Krishna says, all these jivas, they have come from me, they are my part and parcel. So as Lord Krishna can be compared to the great fire and the living entities with the small sparks. And the small sparks has fallen down into the material world. In this way, we are struggling very hard with material nature. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasah. After having fallen from the spiritual sky to the material world, we have become covered with the qualities of material nature, tamagun, rajagun, sattvagun. In this way, all our qualities and activities are under the conduct of this lower nature, the apara prakriti, the material nature. So in this way, we exhibit the qualities of material nature. Now, the spiritual master, he will see that in particular individuals, there is a small quality, some fiery quality that remains, and he will fan it. As Prabhupada says, my duty is to fan whatever little qualities are there in those who are coming to me, fanning the good, whatever little good qualities there, overseeing the other bad qualities. There may be so many bad qualities, but if the small good quality is revived and it becomes like a fire in the association with the spiritual master, then that person will be transformed. So that is the wonderful activity and quality of the spiritual master, the Paramhamsa, spiritual master. The Paramhamsa does not see anything bad. He sees the small spark because everybody, everything emanates from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So certainly everybody has little, at least a little quality of Godhead. And the Paramhamsa, Bhakta, the spiritual master, he will revive and he will magnify that quality to the highest extent. So that is here what is the quality of a dvija up to the character of the Paramhamsa. But Dakṣa is doing the opposite. So generally in the material world, prakriti stani karshati. Karshati means we struggle very hard with the six senses and with the other in a competition In this way, there is envy at every level of society, within family members, within community members, within other national societies, international society. There is competition, there is friction, enmity, war, and so on. Practically, there is no peace anywhere at any time. One diplomat, French diplomat from the early 19th century, Mr. Talleyrand, he said that, what is peace? Peace is simply the small interval between two wars. Doesn't last. One war after another. If you study, everybody has studied history at school. So what are the history books? Simply one war after another war. History of wars. I can remember. History books. Nothing, no peace whatsoever. Everywhere conflict, everywhere struggle. So prakriti sthani karshati. The living entity is struggling. But those who have developed Vedic knowledge, they understand that human life is meant for another thing, not for struggling, not for fighting, but for understanding the meaning of life, developing the divine qualities of the Supreme Personality of God. In this way, human life becomes very substantial, very significant, and very successful. So, in association with the spiritual master, this program is made possible. Once Tamal Krishna Goswami asked from Srila Prabhupada that if the disciples are liberated, Jivan Mukta, well, among the Jivan Mukta, there are two types. One type is sadhana mukta, and the other one is kripa mukta. That means one is liberated by dint of his spiritual activities, by dint of his sadhana, practice. By practice, one develops all the good qualities to the extent of liberation, going beyond the three gunas. And the other type is one who is liberated, having received the mercy of a liberated person. So, to which class do we belong? He is asking from Srila Prabhupada. Are we sadhana mukta jivas, or are we kripa mukta jivas? Prabhupada immediately said, you are kripa. You have received the mercy of the spiritual master. What do you think, what your sadhana will do? We are now so great, as in such a powerful sadhana, you can free yourself from the clutches of the three gunas. It's only by the mercy of the spiritual master you are now in this liberated condition. At some other time, Tamal Krishna Goswami is also telling Srila Prabhupada that, what should I do, Prabhupada? Sometimes I feel that I am under the influence of Maya. Prabhupada immediately said, what sometimes? Always. Always under the influence of Maya. So, but because of the association with Srila Prabhupada, all these followers, what good qualities they had. They were immersed in sense enjoyment, committing all types of sinful activities, but they had little interest in spiritual life. At least some of them, they were reading sometimes some books on Buddhism, they had some interest in this way, how to improve one's life. But mostly, they were addicted to so many bad habits. So Prabhupada saw the opportunity that this young generation, they have separated themselves from the middle class, the mainstream of the society. They live on the edge of the society because they don't want to be implicated in business and other activities. They want to be free. So the desire to be free may be good. Of course, it's not always good. One may look freedom in a dirty place. That is not good. But the desire to become free, the desire to become aloof from the materialistic society, that is one quality that many of these young people at that time, they had. Prabhupada saw that. And although it is very difficult to develop that single quality because of so many other contaminations, but the Prabhupada was so pure, so effulgent, and so merciful that he could develop these followers into devotees of the Lord. So that is by this association only it was made possible. Otherwise, material nature is simply always entangling us more and more in our complexities, going down from sattva-gun to raja-gun to tama-gun. This is how it is coming down. With great difficulty, one may try to go up, but it may take a long time. And again, from a higher position, one may come down. So there is no guarantee that the Karma Kanda section of Vedas may liberate a person from material nature. This is practically impossible. Unless one receives the mercy of a pure devotee of the Lord, one cannot come out of this entanglement. So that is the foundation of the ISKCON society. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one can develop the higher qualities, spiritual qualities of the devotees of the Lord. Prabhupada established these temples. He told us that let us produce honey from these temples. These are honey factories, manufacturing honey and distributing to the bees. Here, Prabhupada in the commentary, he speaks also of different types of qualities exhibited by different types of living entities. There are flies and there are bees. They exhibit different qualities. That is found in nature. The bees, they'll be after honey. And the flies, they'll be after the stool and dirty things. They'll be happy there. So in the nature, there are some bees are rare and they exhibit rare quality, being after honey. So they are not after anything else. So similarly, if we can produce honey in these temples, then we shall attract the bees, that is, those who are interested in spiritual knowledge, who are not interested in materialistic living, those who want to give up, but because of family affairs and other complexities of society, they are not able to cut off the bondage of material society. But if we establish these temples where we manufacture honey, then they'll come and they will relish the honey of Krishna consciousness and will be able to give up all other associations. Or in other words, sometimes Prabhupada was telling oasis in the desert. In the desert, there is no water. Everybody is thirsty. Everybody is after water. But how can we quench our thirst in the desert? That is not possible. There is only illusion. We can have illusion of seeing the water, but that is only a mirage. So these temples are like oases. These are the real things that where water is available, everybody can come quench his thirst. So I remember that regarding thirst for knowledge, inquisitiveness, when Prabhupada was here in Hyderabad also, in his lecture, he said that there's one good thing about the Telugu people. What is that? They are inquisitive. That is one quality that Prabhupada noticed among the Telugu people. They have this quality, inquisitiveness. So that is very important because out of those who are attracted to Krishna, those who are coming to Krishna, one category is those who are inquisitive, jigyasu. And similarly, jigyasu seyautamam. So one can be inquisitive. And if one is approaching a spiritual master for tasman gurun prapadyeta jigyasu seyautamam, then the perfection is at hand. By inquiring about the absolute truth from a spiritual master, then we can become free from entanglement in material life. So this is the opportunity. Dakṣa missed the opportunity to receive such an education. And he is clearly on the way down. On the way down, he will see everything bad, especially in the personality of Lord Shiva. So, by doing so, he is committing Vaishnava Parad. Vaishnava Parad is that one offense that nullifies all the benefits of chanting Hare Krishna. One should avoid the 10 offenses against the holy name. And among these 10 offenses, the greatest offense is to find fault in a Vaishnava. So if we do so, then we cannot chant Hare Krishna. Whatever we do in the matter of chanting Hare Krishna will not yield any results. There was, at the time of Lord Chaitanya, Devananda Pandit. He was a great devotee of the Lord. He was known to be a very great speaker. And he was speaking only on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. He had his own small ashram in Navadvip, and daily he used to give lecture on the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Many among the devotees used to come to him and listen to his lectures. And once also, Srivas Pandit also attended his lecture. When Srivas Pandit in the audience heard the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, he was overcome by ecstatic symptoms of love of Godhead, Krishna Prema, and he started to make some sound glorifying Lord Krishna, shouting and rolling on the floor and moving here, there, his body like this in ecstasy. Became ecstatic hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Devananda Pandit did not understand the behavior of Srivas Pandit. And he told him, just behave properly. We are talking here, Bhagavatam, and you are making disturbance in the assembly. So what is this? If you cannot listen properly, if you are so disturbing, better to leave, go somewhere else. So Srivas Pandit left and went back to his own residence. So after some time, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming from Puri, was visiting Navadvip on the way to Vrindavan. Devananda Pandit came to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he told Lord Chaitanya that, my dear Lord, I have studied the Bhagavatam. I'm giving lectures daily. But to tell you the truth, I cannot understand Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. I do not understand. He admitted frankly, although he's giving lectures, but he cannot understand. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, yes, I understand. You have committed an offense against Srivas Pandit, and for that reason, your intelligence has been completely ruined. No? Your spiritual status has been ruined by this Vaishnava parad. So the only solution is that you go to him, you go to Srivas Pandit, you fall at his feet and beg forgiveness by your behavior, your so-called chastisement. You beg forgiveness from him. In this way, you may be excused. I cannot excuse you. I cannot do so. You have to go to Srivas Pandit. So in this way, Devananda Pandit understood the major offense of Vaishnava parad, that is completely destroying, like a mad elephant destroys a beautiful garden. So it is complete devastation of a spiritual life. So Dakṣa is also indulging in the same manner, committing Vaishnava parad against Lord Shiva. So that is the greatest offense. And for that reason, Dakṣa will be severely punished. So why Lord Shiva is so merciful? In the commentary, Srila Prabhupada mentions an occasion when Lord Shiva gave benediction to a person who was not qualified, but Lord Shiva saw one qualification in him. Even though he has asuric qualities, his name was Bhasmasura, became famous as Bhasmasura. He wanted to have a benediction that whomsoever head he touches with his hand, that head will fall off. In this way, he will be killed. By simply touching his head, that person will be killed. So he wanted that type of benediction from Lord Shiva. He did penances, tapasya, and Lord Shiva was happy. He thought that, yes, he has done great tapasya. Let me give a benediction to him. That is the great mercy, the great compassion or quality of Lord Shiva. In this way, he is famous for his great compassion. So Lord Shiva gave that benediction. The first thing that Bhasmasura wanted to do is to put his hand on Lord Shiva's head. He had a doubt whether this benediction is real or not. He wanted to test. So in this way, he ran after Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva escaped here and there. So finally, Lord Shiva escaped everywhere, and Bhasmasura ran everywhere throughout the universe, and he came at the gate of Vaikuntha, where he met Narayana. So Narayana could understand the whole situation, and he told Bhasmasura that, you see, you got this benediction from Lord Shiva. He is not a very reliable person. I don't trust him. So how can you trust Lord Shiva like this? If you think that he gave you some benediction, you just do one thing. Just put your hand on your head. So you will understand. So that Bhasmasura was bewildered by Lord Vishnu, and he just simply put his hand on his own head, and his head was cut off. So that is the end of the how this conclusion of the story. But the Lord Shiva gives benedictions to many different persons. Sometimes even asuras like Ravana, he can also get benedictions. But ultimately, everything is coming out well by the mercy of Lord Vishnu. So, in this way, Sati spoke to her father. Any other questions or comments? Yeah. See, the activities of Lord Shiva, many times we have said, cannot be imitated and they cannot also be understood. We are not qualified to make any judgment whatsoever on the activities of Lord Shiva, giving benedictions to asuras. Ultimately, everything is adjusted by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Everything is coming out wonderfully. So if we can just remember the wonderful compassion of Lord Shiva, certainly is a worshipable personality. And we cannot imitate in any manner. We cannot even try to understand. Very good. You are inquisitive. That is very good. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Today's class is very much acts as a guidance for newcomers or old devotees to rededicate again and again to Lord's service. So this sloka gives an opportunity to take advantage of Bhagavad Gita, which is having the knowledge of the grading system of Triguna, how to get elevated in purity wise and health wise and knowledge wise. So that Bhagavad Gita is a foremost scripture which been in the propagation of ISKCON and this firstly in temple system by Bhagavatam class or guidelines or guidance given word-wise also by senior devotees and the spiritual masters to get elevated in the purity wise as knowledge wise and health wise also. So that firstly, this Tribhuvan to be introduced to get ourselves get elevated as well for propagation. So that Bhagavad Gita is very much a simplified manner to give this elevation process so that today's sloka is very much an opportunity to rededicate to get elevated so that in propagation also this can be displayed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.